Water. Isn't it great? Do you know why it's great? It's free. Do you know what else was free? This card. Certainly for me it was. Seriously, people, seriously. What the hell was that? What the hell was that? I mean, honestly, I'd like to know, 42 of you in the comment section, who paid for this? And do you feel like it was worth it? Do you feel like your money was well spent paying for this? Now, I was actually going to go live in another couple of minutes. So I was going to get the thumbnail in because the thumbnail's just getting made for me. But I seen there was over 40 in the building already. So I said, right, lock in and get, we lock in. So let us know. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on this? I actually have with me, set it is. So maybe after we get maybe into a couple more, maybe get 100 or so of you guys in the building or so, give or take, I'll let a couple of you hop on and we'll have a talk. Basically, the bigger the ring is, the closer the fight with Usyk is. Smaller the ring, Fury mauls Usyk, sadly. Yeah, Fury's, I done the post-fight. His inside game in terms of shutting an opponent down is pretty damn good. That's why I'm thinking Usyk is really going to struggle. Imagine sitting there freezing the bollocks off. Honestly, like, it looked cold. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it because I don't know. Well, they may watch this video, right? But it's people outside YouTube. And two people I know. Now, I don't know them that well anymore, but they paid to go over and see this fight. And I was like, you two would. I'll leave it at that. You two would. That sounds like something so mind-numbingly stupid that you would do. Absolute job that was. Yeah, one born every minute. What have I witnessed? 27 pounds, lads. 27 pounds. And I got a high-quality one with the ESPN commentary. And I paid the same as I did for this water. Zero. Now, Tenacious D, Dereck Chisora has left Don Charles several times in his career. Okay? Now, he left him, I believe, early on in his career. He left him after he lost, I think, the Dylan White rematch. Did he leave him before that? One or the other. I've never rated Don Charles as a trainer. The fact that Don Charles could see what was happening in there and let that fight carry on. Why? Chisora, his best chance was early on. He had no legs underneath him. He had no energy. He was swinging. He was missing. He could barely stand. He was throwing one shot at a time. He was getting pieced up. He was getting hit with jabs. He was getting hit with uppercuts. Stop the goddamn fight. Just stop it. Do your job as a corner. What are you hoping to gain by him taking that kind of abuse? Like, what are you actually hoping to gain? Embarrassing. He gave a voluntary shot to a shot fighter who he's already beaten twice. Trying to get Chisora killed is what is most likely his last fight anyway. I hope and pray Chisora leaves. I hope Chisora walks away from the sport. I like Dereck Chisora. I think he's a great character. I think he's a warrior. But I personally don't want to look at a Dereck Chisora interview in 5 years' time and I hear Dereck Chisora, I hate seeing fighters talk like that. I hate it. I absolutely hate it when I see that in fighters. If you're already talking like the Usyk fight won't be made, I'd say it flopped harder than an old lady's you-know-what. G-Man, are you following the World Cup? I am indeed. Even though Ireland aren't in it, I still enjoy watching it. Glad I didn't buy it, as am I. I watched Ade's stream. I was watching that as well. Ade did a great job. Hopefully we can get some good numbers in here. We're already at 158. I'll wait until the numbers go up a little bit more. And then I'll probably look about getting maybe a few of you guys on. If you all want to have a chat. And have a see what happens. But it's just crazy. It is just absolutely crazy that this fight actually took place. How convenient that there is an injury for Fury from that fight. Anything to avoid having to face Usyk next. It was the second fight all over again. Yeah, it was. You know what the difference is? The second fight, corner actually did their job and pulled Chisora out. Sorry, I was reading the one below that. Chisora's head movement was way too predictable. Yeah, and Fury could tell pretty much after the first round. Gee, man, where'd you get that water from? Because I have to pay for it. You don't pay for water in Ireland. You just get it from the tap. You don't have to pay for it here. Of all the fights to go over and watch, loads better fights to go watch in London recently. Yeah, I wasn't even tempted to go over to this. I was like, why am I going to freeze my arse off it? And I was going to call it by her name. Tottenham Hotspur Stadium is not the easiest to get in and out of. Yeah, it did have Blair Cole, Larry Holmes. That went 15 rounds. Sadly, I think Fury will fight Joyce instead of Usyk next. But Joyce is still more alive than Chisora. Hopefully, Chisora won't have long-term damage after that. I hope for his sake. That's my biggest fear for him. Having watched that, I don't want Dereck Chisora to be in a situation now where, you know, maybe he was going to leave boxing with his faculties in one sense. But now he's kind of like, you know, completely wrote off with that. Should never have been sanctioned. Big up the Fight Sport Talk. Yeah, 150, 172. Lads, 172 in the building. Smash the like button. And if you are new to the channel, hit subscribe. We're trying to get to the 10K mark. So if you're new, if you've just logged in, this is the first time watching, give your boy a like, hit subscribe. We're up to 39 likes at the minute. 39 likes, 42 likes. Let's get it up to 50 likes. There you go. I watched the Wade Concept. I've only heard of him tonight. That's the first time I ever heard of him. When I mentioned him, literally the first time I ever heard of him. Look who it is. If I wasn't at work, I would be upset about having my time wasted. Cheers to my second favourite Irishman. Who's the first? I gotta be the first. Come on. Who's the first? Hopefully, tell me it's not McGregor. Please. But appreciate that, Karma, my dear. You didn't miss much. The Dubois fight, though, I will say, go and you'll enjoy that. Have a watch of that. That was a good fight. But god damn. I was surprised the fans didn't turn on this fight earlier. You know, they booed when the actual stoppage happened. They booed that big. But I'm surprised they didn't boo the fact that Fury was just carrying Chisora. And thank you, my dear, for the 20 quid. I appreciate that so much. I really do. Main event was planned. LOL. Dubois fight was fixed. I like the jacket. You know? Boohoo.com if they ever want to sponsor me, you know. I do most of my shopping in Boohoo, I'm just saying. No, they won't release them. Did anyone actually think this fight would go any different? No. Like, I had the intention of doing a prediction. And I was just like, do you know what? I can't get up for doing one. And one of my mates just texted me there saying it was a terrible fight. And he's not even a big boxing fan. And he's texted me there saying terrible. I can't even comprehend how Chisora wins. So what's the point in doing a prediction, if you know what I mean? Joke of one fight. Fury will fight Joyce next while Usyk will fight Hrgovic. And they'll add an additional man, though. I hope not. I really hope that's not the case, to be honest with you, mate. I really do. I hope that we have a nice, easy time of it. And, you know, we just get into Undisputed. I want to see Undisputed. Dubois, no. You know, I'd say Dylan White is probably kicking himself that he didn't take that fight against Daniel Dubois, or that fight fell through. I'd say that he probably looked at Dubois tonight and thought he was there for the taking. Because if that guy can trouble you with lefts, my left hook will absolutely take Daniel Dubois' head clean off his shoulders. So I'd say Dylan White is kicking himself. G-man, people say YouTube boxers are killing the sport, but with Spencer Crawford's falling out and now this, I'd say the sport is killing itself long before it. Yeah, could definitely make that argument. You know, they're the fights we want. We're not getting them. And the YouTube boxers are coming in. And look, at the end of the day, I've said it once, I'll say it again. I don't watch many of them because I just don't really have that much of an interest. But it's bringing eyes on the sport. So is that a bad thing? I don't think so. At the end of the day, like, do I watch all of them? No, I don't really. I watch a few here and there. Ones I've heard of, because I've never heard of a lot of these guys get dropped. Like, that surprised you? Yeah, it did. I really didn't see it coming. I didn't expect it, and it was crazy. It was crazy. Favorite Irishman is probably Bono. Thumbs down. Don't like Bono. She's not a man, but my friend Grace, Grace Pearl, lives in Shannon. Shannon is lovely. It's in County Clare. Yeah, no, Shannon is lovely. Dubois showed heart. Sorry he was dropped, but showed he does have heart. That fight right there, and I'll read the super chats as they come in. Thank you. Mr. Will Guitar, thank you. I recall seeing Holyfield, Battering Foreman and Holmes. Yet ESPN seemed to think Dylan White and Chisora are world beaters and Fury some sort of messiah. Yeah, I'd love to hear from the Fury fans how they're going to spin this. Because this was an absolute joke fight. Like, Tyson Fury, as good as he is, and he's a great fighter, tremendous fighter. You see the talent he has. He's better than this. He's better than this. He doesn't need to be doing this. Like, Fury tonight, I reckon he would have beaten Andy Ruiz. It's a joke it went on that long. Yeah. Where's Howard Foster when you need him? People sleeping on how good Fury was. Yeah, at the end of the day, we have to take that into account. He was still very good in this fight. He looked tremendous, I thought. I thought he looked very good. So Tyson Fury, I've no issue with how he looked in. I thought he looked very good. It's just that they put this on pay-per-view. It was so one-sided. Like, Fury, if he really stepped on it, went through the gears, 195 of you in the building. If you could, smash the like button, hit subscribe if you haven't already, by the way. Because if you've not, trying to get to 10K, let's see if we can get close in this live. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Please. My point undisputed is not next, that's all. Good job, G-Man. Big up. Accuse Ryan Garcia of steroids. I always find it interesting when one accuses the other. Remember Jarrell Miller, big farmer, who wins the World Cup? It's interesting, isn't it, just going off topic, that out of all the favourites, England are the only ones not to lose yet. So it's an interesting one. I would still probably say Brazil. I would still, maybe France. They got Mbappe, but I would say out of all of them, I would say Brazil. England are the only ones not to lose yet. Dylan way too chinny for Daniel Dubois. Chisora could stick in there and give it to him. Do you expect Fury Usyk or Fury Joyce? I hope we get Usyk, but if not, we're probably going to get Joyce. Facts, it brought me and countless others to the sport, and I intended to stay that way. Thanks for the £5, mate. No sympathy for fans who paid for the tickets and pay-per-view. His team will want the Usyk fight, so even if he doesn't, they will push for it. Yes. You know, there were people who obviously did pay to go to this, and there are people around London and places like that. Like, at the end of the day, I can't really begrudge them because they probably didn't have to spend that much. But like, there was people here in Ireland who flew over. I was like, what? 220 of yous. Again, smash the like button if you haven't already. Help your boy out. Let's get the channel going. And hit subscribe as well if you haven't already. The goal from this is to get as close as I can to 9,700. So we're in that kind of nice 300 category. And thanks again, Fight Sport, for the £5. I appreciate that. Every little bit helps. What did I do with Dubois now? Take a bit of time off. Keep training with Shane McGuigan. If you've got injuries, rehab them. I think that will help him. I really genuinely do think that's going to help him something terrible, because he will have silenced a lot of the people who said you're a quitter. He's gone through adversity. I think for Dubois, that is genuinely going to help him. Thought Dubois was protecting with how he looked his knee. Some are saying it was his ankle. Fury making out at the end, everyone is avoiding him. I doubt that very much. Although YouTube boxing brings more eyes to the sport, you don't think it makes people see boxing as a bit of a joke? No, I've never had anyone say it like that. So people who know that I do boxing and all this jazz, they've never said, oh, it's a bit of a... They like it. And at the end of the day, like, I don't tend to watch the Misfits cards. I might watch 1 or 2 fights on it. I don't pay for them. So I only watch what I really want to. And, like, look, Tommy Fury versus Jake Paul. I will be paying for that if and when that gets announced. I'll pay for it. I will do a watch along and everything for it. Conlon cards are usually pretty good. He's got a good stable of fighters there. The cold definitely shook both fighters. I'd say they were freezing because it's absolutely like it is freezing in Dublin. So I can't imagine London is much better. Like I've got the heating on it. Well, I'm lucky. I can have the heating on. Fury fans are going to act like this wasn't because Chisora is a glorified gatekeeper and say just because Fury is that good. Yeah, well, like they'll say that, but like it's look at the last few performances from Dereck Chisora, even in the win. It's like, of course, that was always going to happen. Fury could have, honestly, like, if you said to Fury, you can't use your right hand, he'd have still won that fight easily by just jabbing him. Not a fan of YouTube boxing generally, but as you said, one day a champion will come along who was inspired by it. Mark my words, 10 to 15 years, that's going to happen. Because at the end of the day, right, look, I got into boxing because of Muhammad Ali, which I think is how a lot of people did. You know, a lot of people would have got into boxing from Muhammad Ali or someone like that. But I got into boxing from Muhammad Ali because of his trash talk. And I didn't watch any of his fights. It was only the more I started watching his trash talk and I said, I better watch some of this guy's fights. And like that was kind of when it was like boxing. So that's how I got into it. You know, some people would say they watched Muhammad Ali fight Sonny Liston or George Foreman or someone like that. But, you know, obviously I've seen them fight. But, yeah, well, Frampton, he hates Shane McGuigan. So he will not be happy. He despises the McGuigan. So there's bias there. You know, he doesn't like them. They were very good. That's the first time using them, and they were brilliant. I will say that. They were absolutely spot on. Gotta say, the whole Fury Usyk Joyce sequence call it was pure WWE style. Well, Fury's been part of WWE lately. 10K by the end of the year. There's 250 is in the building. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. If you could, I've got 88 likes and 260 of you in the building. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. We want to get this channel by 10K by the end of the year. I want this channel to 10K by the end of the year. That is the goal. Because that way I could try and get 20K by next year. That's realistic, by the way. G-Man hates the Travelers. I literally know no Travelers. Yeah, Aram is close with the Ukrainian guys. Lomachenko is his guy and he wants to sign Usyk. He cannot afford to mess this up. Mess with that contract with Klimas. Warren and Aram will push for Fury to do it. I reckon they will. I'd say Dylan White is probably kicking himself that the fight didn't happen. But saying that, I'd say Daniel Dubois, one right hand, could knock Dylan White. Like Tyson Fury, I spoke about this. His power is severely overrated because he hit Chisora plenty in there. And yeah, he buzzed him, but he never came close to dropping him. Those same uppercuts knocked Dylan White damn near out cold. So White's chin is awful. Look at the money on the screen. G-Man rolling in the bag. I only got 3 super chats. It's hardly the bag. Like I only got 3. I appreciate the 3 super chats, but it's only 3. Cash out. No, I think he nearly quit again, but he didn't. I said, G, how you doing? I'm doing all right. I didn't pay for that, thank God. 3 knockdowns in the first round, I know. And Hatman messaged in on Elements saying that he didn't watch the Dubois fight, and I'm sure he's kicking himself for not watching it live. I was giving him the updates. I was like, it was crazy. So I watch his content. What do you think the chances are of Usyk beating Fury on points? Yeah, he's a chance, definitely. But I would be favouring Tyson Fury personally. I think Fury can shut him down on the inside. He isn't top 10 and he'll never be. He may never. I see his actions. Fury will fight a spoiler fight against Usyk, grabbing and leaning. I could easily see that. I could easily see him doing that. A kind of Klitschko-esque type of fight. If Nick Ball and John Fury fought, you got to give it to Nick Ball. You know, Fury would have the weight advantage on him. I think he's fresher. I hope it does. I could get caught cold. You see the steam coming off the elbow. Yeah. That's probably because it was so flipping cold. I cannot believe they even made a fight outdoors in London in December. Yeah, neither can I. It's just so strange. So cold as well. UK is cold. Must be weird fighting outdoors this time of year. Yeah. Because, like, the gym I go to, right, just a normal gym, it's pretty cold. So, well, it's not cold, like, but the heating in there is not great. Like, it gets really warm in the summer, but in the winter it's really cold. So when you're in the gym and like you do a little bit of cardio and then go into the weight room, you're still not fully warm. You know, my gym, and I can only imagine what it's like outdoors. I hope not. I really, if he fights again, give him a nice little journeyman, knock him out in a couple of rounds, see you later, gel, sell off into the sunset. That's what I hope they do. Let's go, champ. AG man, quality stuff as always. You heard on the news, Fish Eyes has said he's retiring after Fury's win. Fish Eyes is done because I know this George Warren has been doing a lot more of the interviews, and he doesn't have Frank Warren's spite and his anger. You know, Frank Warren is his spitefulness. I like that. It was a glorified sparring session. Yep. Liam Davis coming through. Liam Davis, he was the guy who fought that guy in the Telford car. He looked okay in that. He looks okay. He could have. He seriously could have. I wish I was around for Ali, as do I. You weren't alive when he was fighting. Fury would have won with, yeah, easy win. Not a skip it. YouTube boxing is an accident waiting to happen. Someone will get hurt. I'll 100% that is going to happen. That's inevitable. Nearly 300 of you guys in the building. I know I keep asking for it, but if you could, lads, smash the old like button, hit subscribe. So we're up to 650, 9,650 subscribers. Let's keep it going. Let's try and get to 700 by the end of the night. There's 300 of you. Surely there's some of you who aren't subscribed. Hit subscribe, lads. Where is the content on True Crime with G-Man? True Crime with G-Man is working on it, but obviously I'm trying to build this channel to 10k. They take a long time to make, and believe me, I have some Irish cases which I know no one's ever heard of, and they're interesting ones. There's actually a case that I'm thinking of covering that happened in 2012, and it was a BSN one, you know, them kind of guys. And I'm thinking he's obviously done more crimes than the one, but we'll have to investigate that. People are already hurting YouTube boxing. Eubank, definitely. I thought Kronk style was getting your opponent out of there ASAP. I think Fury will always revert to types. I literally have no friends. I went to school with a traveller in primary school, and that was what? I'm 29 now. When did I finish primary school? When I was 12. So doing the maths, like nearly, what, 15? No. A while ago. Doing the math. But archery quit weights. What's the truth about Adam Smith and Sky? Do you hate him like Hatman does? I certainly don't like him. I don't think Hatman hates him, but I certainly don't like him. Chisora has better head movement than White. You already have the bag, tie and boot set, so clearly. I remember some clown was saying on the Eddie Hearn documentary that I was broke because I was a hater, because he was obviously butthurt because I even dared to criticize Eddie Hearn. Boxing, like MMA, is an entertainment, so there'll always be high price or high profile YouTube boxing. The UFC brought in CM Punk. They did, and he was garbage. Dubois is like the British Michael Grant. The fake lighting in the crowd made me laugh. When are the El Chapahans getting back? Don't they own Probellum? I think they're very closely associated with them, yeah. But I don't know, man. These chats are coming in quick. Smash the like button. Paddy Donovan. Yeah, he is tremendous, is Paddy Donovan. I'm looking forward to seeing his career, seeing the progression, because he is so talented, is young Paddy Donovan. I really think he's going to be one for the future. Not really a fan of Frank Warren, but I think I'll miss him. He's had a great career. Has he legit retired? I don't actually check that. Has he legit like called it a day? Because I know George Warren has been doing a lot more of the work. Has he actually said he's done it? Frank Warren. Because if he has, like, in a way, I'll kind of be like sad to see him, even though he's a terrible, horrible man. Oh, he is a horrible man. He's not said anything here. But we all know Frank Warren, horrible man. Disgraceful, horrible human being. Is it controversial that I have Plant beaten? You've literally gone the opposite way to me. But, like, I could see Plant potentially winning. But, like, I can't see it. Looking forward to waking up tomorrow watching Estrada. Yeah, I'm not staying up for I'm tired. I'm gonna go gym in the morning, so I'm gonna I'll probably do a review of it, but I'm tired, so I'll probably be doing that. I'll probably do that later on. I'll watch it first thing in the morning. I get about 7, half 7, and I'll watch it then. Should we compare? It was a different fighter. Chisora was a lot fresher then. Who will be world champion sooner, Joshua or Joyce? I'm going to say Joyce. I've read basically all true crimes and observed Irish homicide or other events will be welcome. I miss the uncontrollable shoulder rolls from Warren. It's going to be weird when he calls it. Like, Bob Arum is in his 90s and he's still ticking away. When are you gonna? I always think I must message him. I must message him for a link up, but I never do it. I always forget. I know he come on as well. That's the mad thing. Yeah, shout out to G-Man, Ty and Boot. He drinks Desperados. I drank them once when I was 18, and I never drank them again. They are absolutely disgusting. What do you think about Dylan White's cross arm guard? Yeah, I think that could it could certainly protect him from the uppercut. Certainly. Could certainly protect him from the uppercut. I have a thumbnail now for this, but I might just keep it as is. If you need any help with your audio for documentaries, I'm up for it. Lots of issues with the last one. No disrespect, but lots with the volume. We're not consistent. Yeah, I know. I actually have a new mic ordered. It actually should have arrived this week, but it didn't. Well, I don't know why it didn't, but it should have. So hopefully we can get that set up, because I'm looking forward to doing that. And I do know I have people who've reached out to me and said that. I was a bit pushed for time with that documentary. Like, that documentary we didn't earn, that was a real time push for time one. So it was a real case of just record it, boom, shoot it out. Can you tell us who failed the drug test you were on about? For legal reasons, if I say it, like, because it's not come out, I could get myself in the you know what. He doesn't fight anymore. That's as much as you can say. You do a vlog on the upcoming here. Probably next year, I'll probably head over to Turkey. And that's definitely probably something I will do, because fuck it, why not? Are you going to watch? I'm going to watch it in the morning. Frank retiring, but Bob's still going. I know, yeah. People making a fuss about El Chapahan. Did they complain about hanging out with the Chechnyan president? His name is extremely difficult to pronounce, but the president of Chechnya. Where did Frank Warren say? I haven't seen it. What happened to Adam Smith? So I was talking to Hatman about this. He speculated that there's some issues going with Sky. When I was over at the Hammer fight, the Christian Hammer versus Joe Joyce fight, I had a few people tell me that Smith and Shalom were not exactly seeing eye to eye, and that was back in June. So God knows. I miss Bob Arum as well. Surprised if he lasts 5 years. He's in his 90s. Like, I mean, how the hell he's still doing that is beyond me. But fair play. Like, I mean, he is determined, isn't he? He is determined to keep going. I think that's the thing about these guys. They are determined. 275 of yous in. Oh, yeah, we are nearly at 69,660. So if you haven't already hit subscribe, please, lads, hit subscribe. Eddie spread himself too wide, boasted about doing shows in remote locations, X, Y, and Z. He doesn't see what's happening. The empire is crumbling and he's turning into Warren. We shall see. People were really butthurt about that documentary. The presenter on the pay-per-view announced that told him before the match that if Fury won tonight, he would retire. The presenter all congratulated him afterwards. When you hit 10K, will you do a live with the piss bottle? I'm definitely going to do a live when I hit 10K, lads. That's a given. So when we hit 10K, it's a live. We are doing a live. And I might even have I tell you what, if I hit 10K, when I hit 10K, soon, I'm going to go and get a bottle of champagne. I'm actually going to do a live, sit here with a bottle of champagne and a wine glass and just have an old sip of champagne. I don't normally drink, but I will for that, because that will be like just 10,000 people. That's like, and we're so close as well. Like, I mean, we get a good live here, we might tip us over into the 700s. Bob Arum is just, yeah. I haven't a clue. I've heard his dad is absolutely minted, but even then, I'm like, I don't know. Yeah, they're not very nice boxer when you look for media credentials. I found that out. I know Base the Kid, he's a good guy. He tried with me. I seen him on Twitter, and he got probably the same kind of email. They're not exactly nice. They don't come back to you with very nice emails. I'll tell you that. We call my mate Frank Bruno because you never know, because he never gets around in. AJ won't be champion unless Ade has something to say about it. What did you think of the Dubois fight? It just like blew my mind. Like watching it, I was enjoying it. I enjoyed it flipping thoroughly throughout. I was like, holy shit, this is like really, really, really good, because I wasn't expecting it to go the way it did. I really wasn't. I thought Dubois would just walk straight through him. So when he didn't, and we had a fight like this, I was like, damn. Do you speak to Dell? Oh yeah. I speak with him a good bit. Me and him are on very good terms now. Well, not that we weren't ever on good terms. You know what I mean? I think it's fair to say we're mates now. Ireland's next world champion, Paddy Donovan. Don't get me wrong, I like the documentary. Of course you did, mate. That was not a good fight, as I expected at all. As expected, no. Best boxing channel on YouTube. Don't get this anywhere else. Post fights, keep doing what you're doing. That's it, man. You gotta, mate. The amount I was out with my friend last night, and I wasn't able to, like, that's why I just did the short. I was watching the Kelly fight while I was out, and I was like, I wish I could just do a post fight. You know, I'm that kind of just set in my way with this channel now and what I do and everything about it, that it's a part of me. Like, I feel like when I started doing this, I used to feel strange having to kind of like cover these fights. Now I kind of feel like lost if I'm not covering them. I'll give you a clue who failed the drugs test. 10K all the way. How are you going to get a job on DAZN after that Eddie Hearn documentary? Well, I'm not looking for a job on DAZN, to be honest with you. Like, if it came, that'd be grand. Happy days. But I'm not, like, applying or anything like that or reaching out to anyone. So, look, I think it was a good one. I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed making it. And if they don't like it, you know, that's so be it. You know? I mean, I'm sure there's people who've said worse and have still got on with her. Big up to Les Reed. Do you think there's something dodgy about Ben Shalom? I agree with that, man. I don't know if it's just, he has just, even when you see him pick, he just has that look of, and look, don't get me wrong, he's definitely come across well in a lot of post-fight interviews against Jack Cattrall, Josh Taylor, did very well, handled that situation brilliantly. But he really does look shifty, doesn't he? He has just that. I wouldn't trust him to tell me the right time in a room full of clocks. You know? Eddie Hearn has that charm about him. But Ben Shalom just looks shifty. Wonder what the chances are Shalom and the Shady Eyes played a role in Smith leaving Sky. I don't know. I know Adam Smith has been doing darts lately, and he's not doing them as well. So I would have thought maybe it's nothing to do with him. Maybe it's something wider, because maybe if he was getting him out of boxing, he could have still done the darts, because he's quite good at the darts. Look, the amount of people on this live. Do you regret not doing a watch along? Yes and no. There's a lot of people in here, which is good. Ade had crazy numbers in his watch along, so what's not to say I would have barely scraped 100. I got a good way of watching it, and it was perfect the whole way through, which I was delighted with. I'll be using them again. Thank you very much. So yes and no. This is still good. I'm enjoying doing this as well. We're going for over an hour, so like I'm going to enjoy this as well. And yeah, do I regret it? Yes and no. Like the Dubois fight done some good views. Joshua trying new trainers again. How long should a box stay with a trainer? If it works well and you really do feel like this trainer is the best fit for you, you should stay with him. If you feel like you could improve if you leave, then you should leave. You know, loyalty will only get you so far. No one could say Shalom has had to come up, but he ain't had to work it out. Ben Shalom is shady. Fabio Wadley's next opponent. It's a good question. They're looking at European. I'm trying to think. European, because he's above British level now. I would have thought it's safe to move him up. Maybe even Kevin Lorena. Maybe even him. Just see, like, give that a go and see what could happen. Thoughts on the big light heavyweight fight? Lions in the camp. I've already booked and flights and accommodation. It's just a matter of getting media passes for that now. That's the main thing. Have we a better chance of a big crossover fight between Matchroom and Queensbury with Frank out of the picture? Possibly, yeah, possibly. Did you get them with those curtains? No, I didn't. I'm actually in the middle of going through planning for a house next year. So, yeah, this time next year, you won't be seeing them curtains or this room. It'll be a different room completely. It'd be more of a studio because I'm building a room with, like, it's a bedroom, but it's a spare bedroom. So I have no kids. So it's going to be a studio for the time being. No comment. Yeah. Next comment. Wouldn't bet on the zone existed for much longer. Going to get closed. I think they'll stick around. How far do you see? Yes, going. I can't remember which one he is now. There's a few of them. I think he's Kazakh. There's a few of them around. You think Josh Kelly can do that at a higher level? I have to say, he surprised me. He surprised the absolute hell out of me. I was very impressed with Josh Kelly last night. I really did write him off after the Avanesian loss. I really, truly did. I really thought that after he lost to David Avanesian, that was essentially the end. Like, I didn't think he'd really ever come back from that, but he really impressed me last night. But Williamson was so limited. He made it so easy. Usyk didn't flinch. Yeah, Usyk, he is going to, it's going to be interesting to build up for that. Yeah, they had 3,000 in there at one point. Crazy. We can dream. Over gambling problems. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. But yeah, I agree. He is actually quite good on the darts. He is. I'll give him that. He's good. Tyson Fury revealed in an ESPN interview in the US that he's going to have surgery on his right elbow next year. Okie doke. Okay. G-Man, could you give a quick analysis of Josh Kelly's fight, please? Yeah, of course. So, Josh Kelly, basically, early on, I expect him to win those first few rounds. Because I thought that early on he'd be fresh, he'd have the speed, and Williamson would just maraud forward. But behind the high guard, which he did, and he would look to try and walk Josh Kelly down, which is exactly what he did. Now, I thought Josh Kelly would fade. He still does things I don't like. Like, he moves unnecessarily. He expends energy too much. Like Josh Kelly with all the bobbing and weaving, the showboat, and blah, 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 pop, 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 pop. He's doing that when the opponent's in no range anyway. And he's not even punching with him. So all Josh Kelly is doing is he's taking energy out of his tank, which I don't understand. But he does it. But Williamson was never able to adjust the game. Kelly's gas tank never really emptied. And Kelly's clinching was on point. You know, he improved massively in the clinch game. He was able to just neutralize everything Troy Williamson did. I think I gave him the second round, and I might have given him the seventh or the eighth round, one or the other. That was it. 2 rounds. And that's being generous because you could easily have it a shutout to Kelly. So I thought Kelly's performance was spectacular. It was very good. Would you celebrate by getting new curtains? I always say I will get new curtains. I just don't think. Do you expect Nathan Gorman to retire? He's only young. He's only 26. He needs to get his finger out of his arse and actually take his career serious. That's what he needs to do. Wadley versus Dubois. I mean, that's an interesting one there. Wadley needs to fight that fella Chisora lost. Caballel. He's awkward, though. He's really, really awkward. Caballel is the guy. He's really awkward. You could tell, Kel was looking wham in the can fight. Josh Kelly boxed brilliantly. He did. He boxed very well. No more fisheyes. No more fisheyes. That's crazy. We'll have to do a WTF on Frank. We'll have to do a Frank Warren documentary then. The man behind the legend. The man behind the legend. I mean, where would you ever see it again, like with a promoter getting shot and then check himself out of hospital coming straight back? Fisher versus Gorman. They might do that. Do you know that? They might do that, but I'd say it'd be late next year, not early this year. Those hairy knees made you famous. King of ripped jeans. King of ripped jeans, man. King of ripped jeans. Why would Fury take a fight if he needed surgery? Chisora, he's not. He is a warrior in there, but Jesus, he just stayed on way too long. Way too long. The fight should have been stopped. Like, it's a joke that fight carried on as long as it did. It's crazy. Yeah, Fury was saying he hurt his right hand afterwards. Wilson didn't faint or any double jab once. Williamson, you mean? Hopefully Spurs will get WB after tonight. How much boxing experience do you have, G-Man? Because your technical analysis is similar to Hatman. My boxing experience mainly came from just when I started boxing. I was about 18. I was older than I was 19. And it just basically came from just like at the start, like I wasn't sparring. I was watching a lot of the spars, just seeing what they were doing and learning what the amateurs were doing. Just picking up a bit from them. Then it was just watching boxing religiously and then looking at breakdown videos. And it just, you start to get an eye for it. You know, I've done a few little events like white collars, helped out in the corner and given a bit of advice. And because some of the things you just see when you're close to it, you can just see like mistakes people are making and stuff like that. And you start to get an eye for it. So that's kind of my boxing experience in terms of analysis. You know, I'm not someone who's, you know, paid to do, you know, obviously YouTube paid me, but you know what I mean? Who's been paid to look at, you know, specific athletes and see it like that. It's just straightforward. You pick things up, you see certain things in fighters, you see traits that they have. You get an idea of what a fighter is good at and bad at and mistakes they make, etc. And you know, there's been often times where I've literally looked, like a good example would be AJ Usyk. There was things, and this is not me trying to toot my own horn, but I was thinking there was things I was saying that AJ could do to give himself a better chance of winning. And I was looking at the Usyk fight, the second fight. I was like, if he did actually do that, he would have given himself a better chance of winning, but he didn't. Cut a segment from the curtains and frame it in your studio. That's going to be a good one. He's not, definitely not. Imagine G-Man, Hatman, Adel, and Tyen sat around a table discussing boxing, then people they dislike. That would be pay-per-view. I don't really think I dislike anyone on YouTube. But it would be good. I'd love to do something like that. You know, me and Ade, about 2 years ago, we talked about doing something like that. Just getting a couple of like people in YouTube and just doing a meet in Wembley, Box Park, I think it was. That was before the old, you know, what the old Holocaust hit. I'd love to do something like that again, though. You know, Hatman wouldn't go. I doubt it. He's not in the UK now. Dell likes his privacy. But I'm sure you could get a few of us. Like, you could get me, Ade. I'm sure Chris would go happily. Jamie. You know, you could do, and you get Rob, people like that. You know, you get a good few guys in. I'd love to do something like that. It'd be great crack. It'd be so much fun. G-Man, what you are wearing makes better curtains than your curtains. Yeah, everyone hates the curtains. I didn't buy them. Just going to throw that out there. Joyce won't worry about Fury's power. He's cute enough to land. Yeah, I don't think Joyce would worry that much. Michael Ben Sweet, that Fury's going to have surgery on his elbow. So Usyk probably will end up fighting that guy. What's his name? Hergovich. You think tonight might have been the nail in the coffin for pay-per-view in the UK. Now, they're still going to do it. They are still going to do it, but it definitely didn't help. I'd say that pay-per-view flopped big time. Big time pay-per-view flop coming. Wait, you see. 100%. I'd say that pay-per-view absolutely tanked. How are we doing? 254 is in the building. And we're so close to 6. If you could, just if 255, if you could, smash the old like button, hit subscribe, boost this channel up. We want to get to a decent audience by the end of it. You know, ideally, I'd like to be at 9,700 by the end of this stream. Ideally. Nothing funnier than Frank going cherry, red, shoulders going fuming. He's just been asked a decent question. I ain't reading that one just because the algorithms would absolutely go to town on me if I read that. Fisher could go far. He needs a lot of work. I always wonder where a fighter like Williamson will go now. British level, he needs to improve, but I think he's sort of stuck. FA Ajagba is in a very good fight against Oscar Rivas next year, starting next year. Him versus Wadley, I wouldn't. Oh, and Sanchez would beat the living crap out of Fabio. Sanchez would play with him. You know, Frank Sanchez against Tyson Fury. Now, there is a fight. There's a flipping fight that would really be interesting. Where can I get the live link from in the UK for free? Well, what do you mean? Like, the fight's over, but if you were talking about what I used to watch it, it was a website, METH, and another word for river. That was what I used. What is 400 years old, has 6 legs, and stole more money than Ronnie Biggs? King, Aram, and Warren. Yeah, we need to see Sanchez. Sanchez is brilliant. I think he's a dark horse, a real dark horse. Mate, would be amazing. All the boxing YouTubers around the table talking boxing. I'd love to do something like that. Like, even, like, there you go. Like, there's something for, if someone in the zone is ever listening, or Sky or BT, people would tune into that. I'm telling you, if you put that on YouTube or on their channel, people would flip and tune in. If you got a load of YouTube boxers, people in the boxing community, and put them around the round table and talk boxing, people would tune into that. They would. I'm telling you now, they would. Have you ever debated doing a white collar yourself? Yeah, I would. I'd love to do it again. I miss boxing. I do. I really do miss it. I miss it bad. And yeah, if the opportunity came up to do it, of course I'd do it. The problem is, like, I mean, I found it very difficult. It's gonna sound me, but I found it very difficult to not try and hurt the guy. You know, in a white collar, the idea is not really to hurt them. Yeah, I'd go in there looking to take the guy's head clean off. I found that very difficult when people would be like, just go easy in the spar. I don't know why. As soon as I remember, I smashed the guy's nose up once. It was about a couple of years ago. The minute I seen red, I was just like aiming for the nose. I was like, please don't hit me in the nose. I was like, okay, I won't. And I just was like, I have to hit it because I can see it. So yeah, I was always bad like that. Dwyer versus Hatman. Ade versus Chris. Oh, you in Royal Rumble? I'd probably pick Hatman because, to be honest with you, he's a heavyweight and he's probably the baddest out of us all in terms of just fighting wise. Del Boy is already slurring. Yeah, I know. I thought that all right in the interviews. It looked decent enough. Last time I saw the curtains, that time I never saw my granddad again. You should make a documentary with the brutal reality of boxing. 99% of boxing, it's grim. It's a grim sport for most fighters. That's a good idea, actually. The illegal links are basically all the same. Yeah, but some of them are absolutely, like, some of them are really poor quality. So I was very lucky. I got one that was very good quality. Fury Defo has some fanboys. Well, the fanboys for Tyson Fury, I mean, they absolutely, like, they worship him like a demigod. Like, it's actually quite bizarre, really, when you think about it and you watch it. You're just kind of like, what the hell? They will literally give him a pass on absolutely flipping everything. Anything they can give him a pass on, they would give him an absolute happy out pass on. I don't understand it myself, but, you know, Fury is a great fighter, but he's definitely not above criticism. No one is. Oh, Ben Shalom has shiftier eyes. Frank Warren, they just look... It looks like someone kicked Frank Warren in the balls really hard, and he's never recovered. Do you ever see that? Like, someone just gives him a real good hard kick in the balls, the eyes go like that, and it looks like he's just never recovered. I hope Chocolatito wins. Even though I love Estrada, Chocolatito. Do you use VPN? No. I just use normal websites. He hasn't looked great since he's been piling on weight. He does look better in the 220s. Yeah, his feet are faster. Who wins? Paul, definitely. Boxing news? No. Could you create a special channel that goes live once a month for debate? I could. Again, like, time-wise, though, like, I mean, I don't have enough time to go and do the crime work because I'm doing so much on this and other things. So I don't know if I'd have the time to be able to even go and do something like that, mate, to be honest with you. You versus Ade. No. Me and Ade are mates, man. Me and Ade are pals. Like, I can't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Now, me and Ade are pals. Not a chance that would ever happen. Ade's a good guy. He's helped me out big time. Big time. I mean, Jesus Christ, this channel would probably be gone now if it wasn't for him helping me out every step of the way. Tyson will batter both of them. Some websites, the one spammed on Twitter, yeah, they're just, don't use them. Fury is delusional. He thinks he's a lyrical genius and honest, thinks he's articulate. It's because people around him are scared to hurt his feelings. As I said, look at True Geordie when True Geordie interviewed him. True Geordie was respectful throughout. He asked the questions that needed to be asked, and he didn't just take what Tyson Fury said and then move on to the next one like a certain Umar, IFL Umar. He actually followed up and said, well, hang on, and Tyson Fury got rattled. It was brilliant to watch. It was a brilliant interview, and credit to True Geordie for that. I mean, big up to him for that. Dubois beats Parker. I actually found out True Geordie watches my videos, lads. By the way, I found that out yesterday. I found out actually True Geordie watches your boys' videos. That was crazy. That made my day yesterday. I was like, damn. So it gets out there. Because I still see me as just this, even though my channel's at nearly 10K, I still see it as a small channel, if you know what I mean, in the grand scheme of things. You forget, I mean, like, it does over 100,000 views a month. You forget how many views that is and who might actually be watching. I know Adam Smith always talks about boxing family. Do you think most fighters are horrible? No, one of the friendliest places you'll ever go is a boxing gym. Most fighters are not horrible people. Most fighters are very, very good people. They really are. I'd love to see you do a video on the 90s promoter, Elvis Parker. He made Don. No, Don King is a scumbag. Like, Don King is a scumbag. Scumbag. Alan Bennett, first night, just so. Boom. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. One step closer to the 10,000 mark. That's just what we want. 9,960 subs. Okay, so if you haven't already, there's 250 of you in the building. If you haven't smashed the like button, we've 151 likes, so I ain't stopping until we get to 200 likes. And we're going to keep going. Haven't watched that yet, actually. I knew you wouldn't fight Ade, total jokes. Yeah, he's my mate. Why would I fight him? He's my flipping mate. I love Ade. Same with Jamie and Chris and Hatman, I wouldn't. Some people never hang out with anyone smarter than them. They are Joe Rogan talking about someone else, but defo appeals to Fury. If you guys want to watch some great boxing videos, have a look at Ruby's Corner. Yeah, he's been around for a while. Who do you think is most likely to be Fury, Usyk or Joyce? Definitely Usyk. I think Usyk because Usyk has the speed to offset Tyson Fury. He has the speed, the skill. He can get underneath that jab. He can get up close. He can get inside. He can land that straight left hand down the pipe. With Joyce, I think he'll take Fury's power better, but he's just so slow. His feet aren't too slow, but his hands are, and I just think that could be a problem. Yeah, he did. I seen that. He was on 2 million and then went straight back down to 1.999. I seen that all right. You should pay True Geordie back by doing his podcast. You mean he should? He owes me. Like, I owe him. I mean, like, that's like benefiting me. Like, I don't know how. I'd probably give him a super chat on his next podcast or something. Tyson Fury and Dereck Chisora have loads of fans each, and it's an all British, so it made sense financially. Do you think there's anything dodgy in the Dubois fight? Yeah, what I will say about the Dubois fight, right, is that for sure it didn't, like, the round ended with like 10 seconds still left to go in it. So there's definitely something dodgy there, 100%. 100% there's something dodgy there. And the fact of the matter is like, look, I don't really have that much of an issue with the stoppage on Lorena's side because he did look pretty damn out of it. But like, you got Dubois down 3 times in the first round and you stopped it on the bell, even though the bell still has another 10 seconds, and you didn't stop it. Now, I know fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round, but it was a bit of a dodgy fight, yeah. What's that say? Which fighter do you dislike the most apart from Ade? Well, obviously people know I like Ade. Who do I dislike as a fighter? I mean, you know, on this channel, even if I dislike them as people, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to praise them. I don't like Conor Benn particularly as a person. I think he's a clown. I think he's as fake as a £2 note. I think he's clearly got, the old saying, he's got brains to burn. Well, he's not got brains to burn. Look at some of the things he's promoted. So I don't particularly like him. I don't particularly like Conor Benn at all. But does that mean I'm going to take away and say when he performs well, that I'm going to say it wasn't? No. When he performs well, he deserves praise. But as a person, I don't particularly like him. I think he's as fake as a £2 note. I think he's pretty dumb. And yeah, it just comes across as a really dislikable character. We got some spams in here right there. There we go. Doing a live after fight cards may be the way to go. Everyone eager to discuss. Yeah, I have to say I'm enjoying this now. I'm enjoying this. It might be the way to go in future. If I don't do a watch along, do an aftermath, because I'm enjoying this, lads. Now I have to say it's been fun. This hour is flown in. Like, it is literally like it's 11:30 now, and it is just flown in. How does Joyce not beat him? Can't see how he does it. Walk him down and get to him. Yeah, but Fury, I think Fury will use his superior speed over Joyce. It's going to be interesting. It'll be an interesting fight, Fury versus Joyce now. Big up, G. Have you seen the message Tate leaked of True Geordie back in the day? No, I haven't. I haven't, actually. All right, bro. Just subbed. Boom. Jab, don't stab. Great name. Great name, mate. Jab, don't stab. Thank you, my man. Thank you. Just about building the channel, man. Just about building the channel. 9,664. Getting there, lads. Again, if you could, smash the old like button. Hit subscribe. Thank you. It did smell fishy. It did. Like, I don't know the ins and outs, whether there was a fix on or what, but I just found it very, very strange. The first round said it all. I was like, 10 seconds left and the bell rings. That's never normally a good sign. And it was the fact that Lorena just seemed to, I don't know, did he freeze or what happened? But, like, you've hurt Dubois so bad. Well, bad enough. I was just like, if you put it on him, there's a good chance you might get him out of there. There might have been a very, very good chance you could have got him out of there if you really put it on him. Would you fight YB? No reason to fight YB. I don't know him. Don't really watch his videos, mate, to be honest with you. Eubank Senior thinks Hearn or someone spoke with Ben without his knowledge, and he threw someone spoken Ben without his knowledge. You mean spiked? From the outside looking in, it looks like he's guilty. And if something comes up to show that, to kind of disprove that, I'm not a you-know-what. I'm not going to turn around and be like, oh, he's clearly guilty. If I look at it and I'm like, what, that actually makes sense, I'll be like, yeah, maybe he is innocent. No fighter is below praise. No fighter is above criticism. Exactly. Another fighter I don't particularly like as a person would be Sergey Kovalev. Do not like Kovalev as a person at all. But he was one of my favorite fighters in his prime. You see the difference there, right? You see, like, I try not to differentiate from the person to the fighter, So a lot of people, that's one of the reasons why channels like mine, Hatman, Outmatch, will get probably praise from, say, Fury fans 1 minute. Oh, yeah, he is great. Well done. Yeah, glad you know he's great. And then when you criticize him when it's due, like this farce of a fight, you're a hater. Yeah, they love throwing in the hater. It's like, all you can ever say is, like, if you can't win a debate, it's just like, you're a hater. It's like, really? Okay. Best boxers with cracking credentials. Roberto Duran, Carl Froch. Love Roberto Duran. Love to meet Roberto Duran someday. Don't really watch Porky's, to be honest with you, mate. What happened to the 3 knockdown rule? How did Lorena suddenly stop throwing punches when he had the upper hand? Yeah, people, I'm not sure. Is it, the WBA have an automatic 3 knockdown rule? The 3 knockdown rule doesn't really be in effect these days, but it's kind of an unwritten rule that if you're knocked down 3 times, they normally do tend to stop the fight anyway. I hope he does. You and Ade keep the fight in Britain or go to Qatar, Saudi, or UAE. Whoever's given the most money. Spiked. Overrated. Well, Joe Parker hurt Chisora worse than Fury did. Very busy working. For whatever reason, managed to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Andrew Galata style. David Price style. Don't think he hurt Dubois at all. Took a bad step backwards and his leg went. Yeah, he definitely seemed to be looking down in the corner. Whether he was injured or not, like that could have been what it was. That could have, it's as simple as just been what it was. Do you think there's any chance Fury took it easy tonight because he likes Del Boy? I think it's a mixture, but I think that he did probably maybe not go hell for leather like he could have. But I think as well as that, I think Del Boy just takes a better shot than, say, a Dylan White. He was blown up cruiserweight, dropped in twice in the first round. That's all we know. South Africa till Monday. Dan's a world champion. Yeah. Luis Ritz, though, was below praise. Yeah, him and Panama Lewis. Absolute a-holes. A-holes. If you don't know what that's referring to, Billy Collins, when they cut Lewis Risto's glove and took some of the padding out and mashed up Billy Collins' face. Ended his career. Him and Panama Lewis, his trainer. Watch Assault in the Ring. It's a great boxing documentary. Brilliant. That's what that's about. Assault in the Ring. It's brilliant. Horribly brilliant. I mean, Billy Collins, he's dead now, all right. He was only 21. He died in a car crash. Crazy. What do you think of the old fighters coming back? I don't like that. That's the one thing I don't like. I think just leave it out. Just leave it out. Like Holyfield, just no. Drank too much this evening. Yeah, I don't have that problem. I made sure not to have that problem. I didn't touch a sip. Yeah, I could see him doing that actually. Or Dillian White, one or the other. Fury rarely sat on his punches, yeah. Hay floored Chisora at one punch. I know ESPN showed highlights like Hay was in trouble. So we're remembering, I think, Hay was blown in that fifth round, or the fourth round, fifth round, was one of them, but he ended up getting Chisora out of there. Yeah, apparently. Don't think Dubois can deal with speed. Yeah, he doesn't move his head at all off center line. He's very stationary, very robotic. He's there for straight shots. From the southpaw stance, if you have a quick-handed southpaw, you're going to give him fits. Like, you will legit give Daniel Dubois absolute fits in there if you've got fast hands. He is going to struggle like a you-know-what. Fast hands from the southpaw stance. Like, if Frank Sanchez would literally light Daniel Dubois up, I believe. But Usyk is a brilliant southpaw with lightning hand speed. Did you think much about Jermaine Franklin before he fought White? Where does he go from here? I have to be frank, I didn't think much of him. I looked at him and thought, he's going to go in there. He's probably going to get bet, and he'll make Dylan White look good. That's what I thought. Didn't think much of him. I really didn't. But he impressed me. He boxed better than I thought he would. He showed he's got good hand speed. He definitely takes a good shot. I think if he can get himself into better shape, he has a lot of potential in there. He's got a lot of potential. That Fury fight was abysmal. Yeah, it was. It was absolutely just a joke. Like, what the if you pay £27 for that, you don't deserve the £27. I'm sorry, you don't deserve that. Long road ahead to make it to Chocolatito versus Estrada without falling asleep. Yeah, I'm taking the sleep, to be honest with you. I'm going to finish up here in about 5 minutes, and then I'm probably just going to go rest, watch it in the morning, then go gym. Is it actually a fry-up with Black Pudding moved to Portugal and something feels wrong with the breakfast here? Not a big breakfast either. Big up G-Man. Looks like we're getting Ritson versus Davis. What do you think about that fight? Yeah, interesting fight. O'Hara Day's been in the wilderness for the last few years, hasn't he? Really, since the Jack Catterall loss. So we'll see. You know, O'Hara Davis really is British level. He really is British level. He's not above it. You know, I look. I probably make him favourite over Ritson, to be honest with you. But hey, you never know. It's Christmas time for Fury wants to get it on. You think Fury would fight Usyk as a switch hitter? Maybe. I'm gonna say Spence. If this was undisputed heavyweight fight, doesn't happen soon, it probably won't for a long time. I hope it does. I really hope it does, man. I really hope it does. If it's in Saudi, I'll go over to it. The fight was terrible, not impressed at all. Yeah, it wasn't great. It was kind of what we expected, but it went on longer than I think any of us thought it would. Like, I didn't expect it to go on that long, and it was crap. Let's not beat around the bush. It was just crap. It was a garbage fight. And I like, what was the point in this? I do not know. I really don't know. I was just like, what is the point in this fight? Like, for me, it was just like, there's just no need for it, you know? Big up Anthony Crawford all day. No, it doesn't do anything in terms of pay rise. It doesn't change. I think YouTube will recommend your channel more. You be in more the recommended videos and stuff like that. I think it's easier to grow it. It's just easier to grow it once you hit 10K. And it's a nice little milestone, you know, 10,000 people is still 10,000 people. I'm so close to it as well. Like, there's 225 of you in the building. And I am just saying, please hit the like, hit subscribe, because even if you hit the like and you subscribe, it helps the channel out. It boosts the numbers. It gets it in the algorithms and stuff like that. That's why I keep asking for it. So whenever there's loads of you in the building, I'm always like, hit the goddamn like button, please, because it helps out. You don't realize how much it helps out. Well said. Nobody hated on the Usyk Chisora fight. Well, for two reasons. One, Chisora hadn't looked as bad in his previous fights. Right, Usyk was still fairly raw at heavyweight. He'd only had one fight prior to that. Also, Usyk hadn't beat Chisora twice in a row. And they did sell it on pay-per-view. Wasn't as dear as this, but they did sell it on pay-per-view. But there was still a few questions to be asked about Usyk at heavyweight. We all knew the outcome of this fight before it happened. Think boxing will ever be dominated by just one promoter? Possibly someday, maybe. It's going to be that'll be very difficult though, but it possibly could happen. Yes, G-Man. Yes. Lads, I've gone just over an hour here. It's nearly midnight. So I'm going to call it quits here for the evening, right? I'm going to call it quits here for the evening. As a UK boxing fan, can you explain the lack of consistency in the UK developing top-level champions the past 10 years besides Asia? I don't know. I just think that the talent coming through, I think maybe in some cases they're focusing too much on amateur style. I think that some, like Anthony Yard, are skipping the traditional route. And I think maybe it's just a lack of talent. Maybe it's just a lack of quality, you know? And I think I'm looking forward to seeing Moses Atume when he turns over, because he is going to be something special when he turns over. Mark my words. He's going to be something special. People, I'm going to leave it there. Smash the like button on the way out. Again, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Big up every time. Thanks to everyone who locked in. Thanks to the people who left donations, super chats, etc. I appreciate all that. Tomorrow we will do a review of the week. I may even do another live tomorrow. I don't know. I'll see. Should do a video on how Hearn threw under the bus. Loves that. Good channel. Thanks, Mill, mate. Legends, all he is. Lads, have a good Saturday. I'll chat to you tomorrow. Peace.